tell you to improve, to get better, to take slow, steady steps toward growth. But what if that's the lie that keeps you weak? What if the real key to transformation isn't gradual self-improvement, but complete annihilation of who you used to be? No. You don't need another self-help book. You don't need another routine. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to kill your past self, the corpse you carry. Most people walk through life dragging a corpse behind them. Their past identity, their old habits, their outdated beliefs. This corpse whispers, "You've never been disciplined, so why start now? You've always been weak, so what makes you think you'll change? You failed before, so you'll fail again. And so you stay the same. The dead weight of your past keeps you from rising. You might try to improve, but you do it while carrying the corpse. That's why most people fail. Because improvement suggests that the old version of you is worth saving. It's not. Burn the blueprint. Think of an old house. The walls are cracked. The foundation is rotting. The structure is unstable. Would you renovate it? Patch it up? Add a new layer of paint? No. You tear it down and rebuild from scratch. So why are you trying to renovate yourself instead of destroying what's holding you back? You were built on weak foundations, on bad habits, fear, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs that were programmed into you since childhood. That version of you cannot be upgraded. It must be erased. The enemy in the mirror. Every time you look in the mirror, you see the enemy, the person who has kept you weak. That person has made excuses. That person has wasted time. That person has lived in fear. That person must die. But how do you kill your past self? How do you burn the old version of you and rise from the ashes? You must do what most people fear the most. You must become unrecognizable to yourself. The only way to kill your past self is through violence. Not physical violence, but relentless action that leaves the old you gasping for breath, unable to keep up. You kill your past self when you wake up at 4 a.m., when you've always been lazy. You kill your past self when you walk into the gym, when you've always been weak. You kill your past self when you work in silence, while everyone else wastes time. Every time you take a new action that contradicts your past identity, you stab the old version of you. And here's the truth. It will fight back. Your past self doesn't want to die. It will beg. It will scream. It will try to drag you back into the old patterns. It will tempt you with comfort, with procrastination, with the same excuses you've always used. No, don't listen. Keep going until the old you is too weak to follow. Ritual of rebirth. Every warrior, every conqueror, every legendary figure in history has gone through a moment of rebirth. A moment where they shed their old self and step into their true power. But it's not just mental. It's ritualistic. If you want to destroy your past self, you must prove it through action. Destroy reminders of your old self. Delete old photos. Burn old journals. Get rid of objects that tie you to your weak identity. Change your environment. Move furniture. Change your daily routes. Make your world unfamiliar to your old self. Change how you look. Cut your hair. Change how you dress. Become physically different, so every time you look in the mirror, you don't recognize the person staring back. Rewrite your name. This isn't about literally changing your name. It's about defining yourself differently. Stop calling yourself lazy, weak, or undisciplined. That version of you is dead. Once the ritual is complete, You will have no choice but to become the new version of yourself. The cost of rebirth. There is a price to becoming unrecognizable. The people in your life who knew the old you will feel threatened. They will pull you back, not because they want to hurt you, but because your transformation exposes their weakness. They will say, "You've changed. You're acting different. Why are you taking life so seriously?" Good. That means it's working. If people aren't uncomfortable with your transformation, you're not changing enough. If you still fit in, you haven't evolved far enough. The more alien you become to your old self, the more powerful you become. There is no going back. Once you kill your past self, there is no resurrection. You cannot return to weakness. You cannot let bad habits creep back in. You cannot reattach yourself to the corpse. The new you must be merciless. There is no just this once. There is no I'll take a break. There is no I can always start again. No. You either become the new version of yourself, or you fall back into the grave with your old self. And if you fall back, if you let the old you creep back in, then kill it again. Because the weak must die so the strong can rise. Final warning. Most people won't do this. They will read this, feel motivated, and do nothing. Because killing your past self is terrifying. It's painful. It requires sacrifice. But the question is, how much longer are you willing to live in a body that doesn't match your potential? How many more years will you spend half awake, trapped in a loop of hesitation, excuses, and regret? If the answer is one more day, then you've already lost. But if the answer is never again, then take the knife and kill the old you today. You know what needs to be done. You know the old version of you must die. But how do you make it real? It's not just about motivation. It's about execution. These 10 lessons are the roadmap. Follow them, and your transformation will be unstoppable. Lesson 1. Set fire to your comfort zone. Comfort is the breeding ground of weakness. The reason you haven't changed is because you've built a cage of ease around yourself. To become unrecognizable, you must burn it down. Stop sleeping in. Get up at 4 a.m. Why? Because the old you wouldn't. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Why? Because the old you always made excuses. Do what makes you uncomfortable every single day. Pain is the price of transformation. If you don't feel it, you're not changing. Lesson 2. Create a list of forbidden actions. The past version of you had patterns that kept you weak. You must identify them and create a list of forbidden actions. Things you will never do again. Example: no more hitting snooze. No more doom scrolling on your phone. No more skipping workouts. No more excuses. Every time you're tempted, remind yourself, that version of me is dead. Lesson 3. Starve the old you. The past you feeds on old habits, old environments, old distractions. Starve it. Change your routine so your past self can't find you. Cut off distractions that keep you weak. Social media, binge watching, mindless entertainment. If the old you would waste time, the new you uses time like a weapon. Your past self cannot exist without fuel. Starve it. Lesson 4. Change your name. Not literally, unless you want to. But you must redefine yourself. The words you use to describe yourself shape your identity. Stop saying, "I'm just not a morning person. I'm lazy. I always mess things up." Start saying, "I am ruthless with my time. I execute without hesitation. I am built for discipline." Your words become reality. Choose them wisely. There is a version of you who is powerful. A version who moves without hesitation, who executes without fear, who dominates without apology. That version of you already exists, but it is trapped beneath the weight of the past. It is up to you to set it free. So take the knife, take the fire, and kill the old you today. If you made it this far, you're not like the rest. Most people quit before they even start. They hear the truth, feel the fire for a moment, and then let it die. But not you. You're here because something inside you refuses to stay weak. Something inside you is ready to rise. To our returning warriors, you already know what this is. You've been walking this path, breaking your limits, and building the kind of strength most people fear. Keep going. Keep sharpening your mind. Keep killing the weakness every single day. And if you're new here, ask yourself, are you ready to leave your old self behind? Are you ready to join a movement that doesn't sugarcoat the truth, that doesn't cater to excuses, that will push you to become something more? If the answer is yes, then hit subscribe. Join the GrimFace movement. Because in this world, you either rise or you rot. No more hesitation, no more waiting. The time is now.